Okay, we're going to tackle a pretty bold claim today. The idea that a simple 15-minute game can literally double your brain's RAM. I know, it sounds a little like science fiction, right? But the actual science behind it, well, it might just blow you away.
So let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Your brain's working memory is pathetic. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but honestly, it gets right to the core of a struggle that I think we all feel.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? You sit down, you're ready to focus on something important, and then bam, 5 minutes later, you're just staring into space. Or you walk into a room and you have absolutely no idea why you're there. You're right in the middle of telling a story, and poof, the thought is just gone. It's incredibly frustrating, and it's a perfect symptom of the exact problem we're digging into.
To really understand why this keeps happening, we need a new way of thinking about it. So let's talk about the real problem: your brain's RAM.
I want you to think about it like this. Your long-term memory, that's like your computer's massive hard drive. It stores just about everything. But your working memory, that's your RAM, it's the active mental desktop space you're using right now to juggle ideas, to solve a problem, to stay on task. And just like with a computer, if that RAM is limited, everything starts to slow down and glitch out.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. For years, decades even, we've been blaming ourselves, our willpower, for these little mental hiccups. But what if the problem isn't you at all? What if it's your brain's actual hardware?
You know the old story we tell ourselves, right? Oh, I'm just lazy, or I'm just not disciplined enough. But the real cause, it's much more of a mechanical issue. We're running on ancient biological hardware in a world that is just full of constant digital distraction. A world literally designed to fry our dopamine circuits and completely shatter our ability to focus.
And this is so important to get. Your struggle to focus is not a moral failing. It is not a character flaw. It's a hardware problem. Your brain's operating system, it just wasn't built for the endless pings, dings, notifications, and information overload of our modern world. It's just completely and totally overwhelmed.
But here is the amazing news. Unlike that old computer from the 90s, you can actually upgrade your brain's hardware. And the process? Well, it's surprisingly simple, and it only takes about 15 minutes a day.
So let me introduce you to something called dual N-back training. Now, forget all those other brain games you see ads for. This is not about matching colorful shapes. This is a very specific, scientifically validated exercise designed to do one thing and one thing only, but do it incredibly well: expand the actual capacity of your working memory.
So how in the world does it work? Well, it's kind of deceptive. It sounds simple, but it is incredibly challenging. You have to track two things at the same time: a square that's flashing on a grid and a letter that's being spoken to you. Your only job is to press a key if the current square or the current letter matches the one you saw or heard n steps ago. It is a serious mental workout that forces your brain to hold and constantly update two separate streams of information simultaneously. Now, you might be thinking, okay, it's just a difficult game. So what? Well, the so what is in the results. This isn't about getting a high score. It's about fundamentally rewiring your brain. Let's look at what the science actually says.
The absolute key takeaway from the research is this number right here. Consistent dual N-back training can reduce your mind wandering by 25%. A full 1/4 of those moments where your brain just drifts away, they're gone.
And this chart just illustrates that change perfectly, doesn't it? Before the training, your mind is constantly being pulled off track. But afterwards, after consistent training, you reclaim a huge chunk of that mental energy, and you can point it where you actually want it to go.
So what does a 25% drop in mind wandering actually feel like in the real world? It means being able to read an entire page without having to go back and start over 3 times. It means having fewer of those frustrating mental glitches where you completely lose your train of thought. It means having the mental space to hold big, complex ideas in your head. Put simply, it is a real, tangible upgrade to your cognitive hardware.
So, we're left with this final thought. If you've been beating yourself up over a lack of focus, maybe it's time to just reframe the entire problem. It might not be about trying harder, but about training smarter. The real question isn't whether your brain can be improved, but simply, is it time for your hardware upgrade?